Now, there's a very dangerous statement made by Kiraitu Murungi. You remember? The Mbas fellow, eh? There's a very, very provoking and controversial statement he made in March, where he told head teachers in Ameru that there's no way Uhuru can be voted out. Yeah? His implication was that there's no way the government can accept to be voted out. Now, this is a very, very controversial statement, pregnant with a lot of meaning. Okay? What Kiraitu was meaning is that in Africa, there's no such thing as a one-term president. Okay? Now, I'll cast your mind back to the run-up to the 2007 general elections, and this was even in the local media. A journalist approached then President Mwai Kibaki and asked him what he'd do in case he was elected out, in case he was defeated in the coming election. Do you know Mwai Kibaki's reply? Those of you who read the shocking newspaper report? The man asked the question in English. Mwai Kibaki replied in Kiswahili. Yeah? And he said something to the effect, huyu kwa nini ananiuliza maswali ya upumbavu? Yeah? Meaning that the journalist was asking a stupid question. By extension, what he was meaning, it's not possible for him to lose those elections. It's not possible for him to leave power. Wow. And Kiraitu was telling the Ameru people the same. Now, some Meru people have displayed a kind of fondness for NASA. And what Kiraitu was trying to tell them was, tulizeni bole, there's no way NASA can win the election, there's no way Uhuru can lose the presidency. Meaning that if push comes to shove, and if it looks like NASA will win, then the election will have to be fixed in such a way that Uhuru is not voted out. Because there's no such thing as a one-term president on the continent. Now, that is very, very scary information. Especially when you couple it with the other information I've received, and a lot of which I've been sharing on this channel, about how there's clear evidence of the interference of the local intelligence community in the forthcoming polls. Indeed, at a controversial meeting in Narok, where the Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto was in attendance, together with many Kano bigwigs, including Gideon Moy, Isaac Salat and company, Isaac Ruto said something very interesting. He actually warned Jubilee, the Jubilee administration, against interfering with the election process. Yeah? And he added that there are clear indications that the government is going to meddle with the elections, the management of the electoral process, and rig the polls. He just said that openly. Wow. So it would seem Kiraitu is giving us some inside information on the intentions of one side of the competing political divide. Now, as I've said here quite often, and I need to repeat this because it's so important, I have said that I do not support any side, and then secondly, I've said the issue of a free and fair election is not a NASA issue, is not an issue for the opposition. And I give you the simple reason, simple and rather obvious reason. Yeah, today it could be NASA in the opposition, but who knows? Tomorrow it could be Jubilee in the opposition. How will you feel like if you're trying to get yourself back to power and then the election is rigged by Raila Odinga's government? How would you feel? Yeah, and this is why it's very important at this stage for us to address this issue and completely get rid of any interference in our elections or the election results by any government body, no matter how powerful or important they think they are. Yeah, even if it's intelligence community, there should be absolutely no interference with the polls. Kenyans should be left to make a decision. Yeah, whether most of the Kenyans are not educated or not, that's not the issue. Let Kenyans make a decision on who they want. And that is precisely what democracy is. Now, these utterances of Kiraitu are extremely worrying because we all know that the peace and the stability of this country hinges on a free and fair election. We also know that we're already in trouble because of the past history of interferences. People are very suspicious, and we could have a situation where the opposition could actually genuinely lose the elections, but then refuse to accept the loss, purely based on the past record, what we have seen, what has happened. Oh boy. This really puts our country in great and grave danger. Yeah? But unfortunately, that is the situation. This is Chris Kumekucha. Until next time.